Hello everyone, welcome to Full Moon Movies. Sinners is that rare film that wants everything: horror and history, music and myth, cultural depth and vampire spectacle. Directed and written by Ryan Coogler and starring Michael B. Jordan in dual roles, the story unfolds in 1932 Mississippi, where twin brothers Smoke and Stack return from Chicago to open a juke joint for the black community, a place of music, memory, and hope. As we go in detail about the key characters and development, Sammy, a gifted young guitarist, becomes the nexus. His music conjures ancestral voices and lures a supernatural force, challenging the line between tradition and danger. The film's strength lies in its ambitious merger of musical traditions: blues, spirituals, hillbilly guitar strings, and even international rhythms woven to evoke cross-cultural ancestry. The blend is electrifying in performance sequences, especially when Sammy's music summons spectral dancers and a sense of community from beyond the grave. The cinematic language of music as the connective tissue to ancestors is deeply resonant. But as we move into the juxtaposition between the ambition and the screenplay, the story often feels a bit awkward. Attempts to elevate the vampires as cultural antagonists, predatory white musicians seeking access to black creativity are fascinating in concept. Yet the screenplay fails to balance their motivations with those of the protagonists. Conversations about the unity feel shallow when the villain Remick, played by Jack O'Connell, is underdeveloped. And the film would have been stronger if the focus had better balanced Remick's tragic outsider perspective with Smoke's inner journey. As we explore moments in character choices that feel uneven, Grace Chow and Delta Slim and Perlin, while visually and conceptually beautiful, are killed in quick succession without significant character arcs. Their death lacks emotional payoff and don't catalyze narrative growth. For example, Grace's decision to provoke the vampires despite being outnumbered feels selfish and poorly written. We don't see the inner lives or motivations that could justify such sacrifice. Similarly, Stack's transformation into a vampire is dramatic, but his post-rebirth personality never evolves. He's a faceless threat, not someone grappling with identity, guilt, or remorse. The duality between Stack and Smoke meant to reflect light and shadow. Stack and Smokes ends up visually and behaviorally too similar. The nuance is lost. There's no real tension in their differences. At approximately 137 minutes, the pacing is really generous here. The first hour immerses you in community life, musical rehearsals, ancestral conversations, delicate displays of affection and ritual. Then when the horror arrives, it arrives all at once. Coogler gives us stylish violence in incinerated vampiric bodies bathed in morning light. But there's a sense the film pulled its punches narratively. Still, the cinematography by Autumn Dorald Akapau is breathtaking. Sweeping wide shots of the delta, the juke joint interior in candlelit grain, the fluid aspect ratio shifting between close intimacy and mythic scale. And the Ludwig Göransson score, deeply rooted in blues and spirituals, becomes the emotional through line. Critics praised this fusion of music and myth, saying the score felt like it pierces the veil between life and death, past and future. Now, in terms of box office, this movie was really strong. On a reported budget of 90 to 100 million, Sinners grossed about 365 million worldwide and became a rare original blockbuster success. Critical reception was overwhelmingly positive. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 96%, Metacritic in the mid-80s. Many critics lauded Coogler for genre innovation and musical magic, though some noted the second half became a bit less focused and more spectacle heavy. Now, as we transition to the home media release and special features, the 4K UHD plus Blu-ray edition brings this to your home in full experience. Either disc includes Dolby Atmos, giving spatial clarity to every guitar pluck and echoing chant and creak of the juke joint floorboards. Atmos playback makes the ancestral voices feel omnipresent, binding the room to history. The 4K video transfer is lush and textural, grain is preserved, surface detail shines in candlelight sequences, and the dawn scenes glow with a subtle warmth. But I have to warn you that a lot of these scenes in this movie are taken in a dark environment. Color grading enhances blues and earth tones, grounding the film in its delta roots. And the black levels, as I said, are deep yet detailed. Motion sequences remain crisp and even during a supernatural chaos. So if you're looking at this movie in an OLED screen, that will be the best. The special features includes the Dancing with the Devil, the making of Sinners, Blues in the Night, the music of Sinners, Thicker Than Blood, Becoming the Smokestack Twins, Spirits of the Deep South, Wages of Sin, the creative effects of Sinners, and deleted scenes. In conclusion, Sinners dazzles with its musical ambition and richly rendered folk horror, even while its screenplay stumbles over character balance and story focus. But the musical traditions, cultural blending, and emotional core, especially in Sammy's performances, provide enough depth to forgive many of its inconsistencies. The 4K package invites you to revisit a world where music is resistance and myth, where ancestors speak through song, and where horror becomes history. Now, this movie is a must watch.